Hi, I'm Mike, and today we evict Peanut and Goliath from our yard and get them in some brand new digs on a very windy day on Our Wyoming Life. Wind, what else is new? Hi guys, welcome back and thanks for exploring the ranch life and escaping the ordinary. Today we've got a little bit of a project on the horizon. It's been a really windy day all day long, 25 to 30 mile an hour winds, and it's hot. It's like a hot wind. I worked quite a while this morning in the high tunnel for Erin, but now we're gonna get started on our project, and that project is getting the calves out of our yard and into their own area. I mentioned it in yesterday's video, and I got a lot of responses with people saying, well, they should be in the barn, they shouldn't have been in your yard in the first place. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a breakdown on why they were in our yard and why they're not in the barn. So let's start in the barn. So this, just through here, is our barn. This is the sales barn on this side. This used to actually be an auction barn at one point. There was bleachers all the way around, there was a sales ring, and they used to sell cattle in this very ring. They don't do that anymore. But what they did after they sold, they actually dropped back down through this door and came down into here where they were sorted off into pens depending on who bought which cow or which bull. Now, obviously we don't need that anymore. So we took this area and turned it into our barn. Now, it's not really a traditional barn. It's pretty small. Each pen is probably 8 foot by 10 foot maybe, which isn't a bad size stall. In fact, some of the stalls we actually took out the center divider and made them twice as large. And what we mainly use this area for is during calving, if we have a mom that we have to deal with or a calf that we have to deal with, they can stay in here for a certain amount of time. The problem is that inside barns like this, you get dust, you get other issues that can actually hinder a calf's health. So what I like to do, and this may just be personal preference, but I'm sure somebody will agree with me, is that I like to get them out of the barn as soon as I can. Normally, in a real world or in a perfect world, they would leave the barn and they would go out into our corral systems. But if you remember from, well, just a few weeks ago, we tore out all of our corral systems to make way for the Aeroquip system. So we tore out all of our corrals. So we are left with just dirt in the corrals. And with just a dirt floor in the corrals, I don't want the calves in here either. All that dirt gets in their face, gets in their nose, gets in their lungs. The dust can cause pneumonia, just not good. Our third option that we would have normally in any normal circumstance would be where the pigs are now, which is right back here behind what we call the barn. And once upon a time, we called this the waiting room. We used to put cows in here that we were either getting ready to calve or had just calved that we needed to take care of. But since we started doing pigs and we decided to put the pigs in this corral, that takes this corral pretty much out of play for most of the year, as pigs are going to be in here pretty much all the time. I did think about putting the calves in here with the pigs, which was kind of an option. There isn't much grass or anything in here. They still have the dust issue. We try to keep some straw down and stuff like that, but I decided that we could definitely do better by the calves. So really, without any more options, we came down to our yard. And that's where the calves have been living for pretty much all of their life. Now, these calves are special. They are bottle calves. They're actually our orphan calves. And we're gonna go around the yard here and find them. This is Peanut, and that's Goliath, and they have been living their whole lives pretty much in this yard. As they get older, cows tend to become more mischievous, I could say. And one of the things that they've managed to do here is unplug our air conditioner a few times. And that's always fun when you realize it's 80 degrees inside the house. The other problem that we're having is that Peanut has taken a liking to eating our screen door, which is now torn and all busted up. They've also been chewing on toys and basically just causing all kinds of havoc in our yard. Now we've tried to give them some things to keep them busy. This is a Jolly Ball, normally made for horses, but Peanut likes it, likes carrying it around. Peanut, there's your ball. Play with your ball. And while these guys are getting evicted from the yard, they're not really getting evicted from the lap of luxury, but I do want to move them away from our yard. And our main goal was to find somewhere to put them that still had grass, that still had, this is another problem we have. They got into Erin's flower bed here and kind of destroyed the flower bed. And I can tell you, I have not done hearing the end of that. That's gonna be something we're gonna have to fix. So anyway, our goal is to move them somewhere that still has grass, that they're able to still lay down, that they can get out of the weather, and pretty much have everything they need, from water to food and everything else. Someplace that's still accessible as well, because they still get bottles every single day. They are not weaned yet. We're gonna be in the process of weaning them over the next month or so, but we don't just, we just don't stop them cold turkey. We wanna make sure that everybody's healthy there, and Goliath still has some health issues, so does Peanut here and there. So we want to make sure that everybody's as healthy as they can be, and that's the main reason that we're keeping them as close to us as possible. So since we're moving them out, what we are going to do is we're going to move them into a nice little area that's right behind the shop here that's still got a good amount of space. We did talk about maybe moving them back into the barn, but then you're taking them from a wide open space and shoving them back into an enclosure, and really that's no fun for them either. So we want to make sure that they still have space to move, still have space to stretch their legs, and I think that actually attributes to health just as much as anything. So we're going to be moving them to a space that's right behind the shop here. Let me show you. So our yard is right over here, not that far from where we're going to be putting them, which is right back here behind the shop. This is kind of wasted space. It's been used for a lot of storage. There's been really, it's just mostly someplace to store crap. There's some older fuel tanks back there that we're not going to move, but otherwise it's been pretty much cleaned up. And what my plan is to take some panels and actually just panel off the front side of this and be able to let them have this whole area back here to run around in. There isn't anything back here that's going to cause them too much trouble. The one thing that I thought might be an issue was the propane tank, but the line is actually a hard line, so as long as they can't chew through this. This isn't rubber, this is actually a copper line leading into metal pipes and stuff, so that is actually good. They can't chew through it. So that's about it. We're gonna get some panels up now. Well, first I'm gonna finish cleaning this out just a little bit more. Then we're gonna get some panels over here and get some panels set up before we bring them in, get their water in, and maybe if we have time, take a look at building them a little bit of a shelter that they can get into, and into the shade and out of the wind and everything else. So let's get started. So in the wintertime we get 0 degrees or -10, -20 degrees with the wind, which then of course creates the wind chill of -30, -40, -50 degrees. In the summertime, days like this when it's hot, it's 90 degrees outside and the wind is blowing, and it doesn't work the same way, right? So now it just feels like it's 120 degrees. I don't know why. It should work the other way. Wind chill should always bring the temperature down, but the wind is just a hot, nasty wind, and it's just no fun to deal with at all. Okay, so we have a fence here. We have a little gate type of mechanism if we have to get in and out of there. Next up, we're gonna get some water in there for them. and start working on a shelter, because the bad part is in the morning they'll have shade, but in the afternoon there's nowhere over there for them to get any sort of shade. So we're gonna have to build some sort of small lean-to or something like that that they can get in underneath and be able to get in some shade and get out of the hot sun. So that's our next goal. Let's do water really quick. I've got a water trough over here. We're gonna set that up, and I think what I'm gonna do is put it right underneath the window of the shop so that I can use this hose and go right out the window with it and fill up their water. That sounds like an easy way to do things, right? Okay, let's do that. How about that? Let's go try it out. That, my friend, is American ingenuity. And in this case, ingenuity actually is the same thing as laziness, but it works. All right, next up is a quick little lean-to that we can build for these guys. I have, so I have all the wood from the corrals, but I'd really like to reuse that into more corrals. And you know what? The pigs are out. All right, anyway, as I was saying, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, about making some sort of shelter for those calves. So I have a number of pallets. We could do something with pallets. Make some sort of lean-to type deal. That might actually be about the best bet. So let me go on a pallet hunt here and we'll see what we can find and what we can come up with.
Have a rule and a saw and a board and I'll cut it. I'll climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail and I'll nail it. Well, we worked so hard to build a little house together. In the snow or the rain or the ice cold wind, whenever. No matter what the weather, we're together. Let me have a rule and a saw and a board and I'll cut it. Climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail and I'll nail it. Well, we worked so hard to build a little house together. In the snow, the rain, or the ice cold wind, whenever. No matter any weather, we're together.
They grow up so fast, don't they? Peanut and Goliath now in their new home, and really with this monstrosity we're taking this whole doing what you can with what you have to an extreme, but really being able to take old pallets that really aren't worth a whole lot and being able to do something with them is better than doing nothing. So these guys are now in their new home. Erin can sing a cry of relief and be happy about that, and hopefully I don't have too much stuff to fix in the yard. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. The windy, horrible evening is not letting up. I thought maybe the wind might die down, but it's not. And Erin and the kids ran to town to get some dinner, so they'll be back anytime soon. So I'm going to wrap things up. These guys will get to explore a little bit and take a look around their new digs, and hopefully they like it. We'll be back tomorrow with another vlog from right here on the ranch as we continue our 5 days of vlogging every single week. It's different, I'll tell you that. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We'll see you next time right here on Our Wyoming Life.